It is week 4 of the lovely football season, and my Steelers are headed over to Ireland to play the Minnesota Vikings, and I have absolutely no idea what I think about this game. I'm not sure if this is going to be the game my Steelers figure it out. I'm not sure if this is going to be the game where after the game I'm like, okay, we're in deep trouble. I'm not sure what is going to happen. And what's even weirder is I'm not even sure what to expect from the Vikings. I don't know what the Vikings are going to do. I don't know who the Vikings are because they don't have their starting quarterback. I saw the Vikings against Atlanta, and that team wasn't very good. And then I saw the team last week against the Bengals, and I don't know if that's going to happen. So I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's going on with either one of these teams. And the truth is, it's week 4. And so I don't really have a lot of information to really pull from or to really say, okay, this season, this is kind of what these teams look like. I don't really know. And so I'm not sure what to expect from this game. I think a lot of people will look at this game and say the Minnesota Vikings are about to run all over the Steelers. The Steelers are so bad. The Steelers are washed. The Steelers are old. All of the things you usually hear. That's fine. I get it. I understand it. Say the easiest thing. But the truth is, we don't know what Carson Wentz is going to do. We don't know what the Steelers team is going to do. We don't know who any of these teams are. And so it's very weird to kind of figure out what is going on because I don't really know. The things that I do know, though, is I am going to throw away the great things that I have seen the Vikings do, and I'm going to throw away the bad things I've seen the Vikings do. And I'm going to do the same thing for the Steelers. And when I do that, and when I kind of take the best things that both teams have done and the worst things that both teams have done, when I look at both of these teams, we are very similar. The only difference between us and the Vikings is that Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback and Carson Wentz is their quarterback, and we don't know what that looks like. So I don't really know what to say about this game. The Steelers win ugly. The Steelers can lose every single statistical measurable there is to football, and then they will get one turnover and that will turn the game. I don't know what to do with the Steelers team right now. I don't know what the Steelers have going on this year. I honestly don't know yet. It's week 4. I don't think anybody really knows what their team is doing right now. And that is the joy of an early season. Watching the games as they unfold, watching your team kind of start to put together a complete puzzle. I don't know what that is yet. All I know is I'm here to enjoy it. So let me get into some things that I know about the Minnesota Vikings. Hi, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn on those notification bells. And if you're filling up to it, don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section below. The Minnesota Vikings have a great defense. We all know Brian Flores is an aggressive defensive play caller, and we all know what that defense likes to do. It's no secret. It's the NFL, for crying out loud. We know these teams. We know these coaches. We know the identity. And the identity of this Minnesota Vikings team is a Brian Flores aggressive defense. We know that. Fantastic. What you might not know, though, about this Vikings team is this Vikings offensive line has actually given up more sacks than the Steelers offensive line. Think about what I'm saying here. A lot of people heading into this game is like the Steelers offensive line is terrible. Steelers offensive line sucks. All of those things. The Minnesota Vikings, as of this recording, have given up more sacks than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Something to consider. The other thing to consider is the Vikings are top 3 in penalties that go against that team. So what that is telling me is they have a ton of penalties that are being called against them. Something to think about, because I think if this game is close and if this game comes down to defense, then I think that bodes well for the Steelers. The other thing is, too, when I'm thinking about the penalties, last game, the Minnesota Vikings had 13 penalties. Last game, the Minnesota Vikings had the Bengals beat by basically after the first quarter, and they still managed to get 13 penalties. The Steelers all year have 13 penalties. So that is one thing that I'm very interested to see is how good is this Vikings offensive line when you're still giving up a ton of sacks? How good are you actually? And now you have a new quarterback in there. So that's something I'm thinking about. And then on the flip side of that, what is going on with your penalties? How are you going to hold up? What are you going to do? What is that going to look like? I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. And then we all know that the Minnesota Vikings have Justin Jefferson. Listen, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. I don't have much to say about that. He's there, okay? So he's there, and that's just what it is. But I think if this game is going to come down to defense, and I think if this game is going to come down to, can the Steelers get turnovers? What do we look like? Can we manage the clock better than them? Is it going to come down to like a one-possession game? What is that going to look like? When you're looking at a team that has a lot of penalties and when you're looking at a team that's giving up a lot of sacks, those are momentum plays. And so I like the Steelers for that reason, for a lot of different things. But hey, they're in Ireland, and that throws in a whole nother dynamic to this football game. I think there are going to be two kind of things that I'm going to be focused on when it comes to this game. The first thing is going to be Brian Flores versus Aaron Rodgers. I am interested to see what that is going to look like. I'm interested to see if the veteran in Aaron Rodgers is going to help him during this game when he is facing Brian Flores. Do I expect Aaron Rodgers to win every single time? No. But do I expect it to be even? Yes. And the truth is, if it's even, that is advantage Steelers. Because if you're going to tell me that the Vikings have an amazing defense, but my quarterback is able to neutralize that great defense and kind of go 50-50 with Brian Flores in that defense, I like that. That sounds good. So that's one key to the game. The second key to the game, in my opinion, is going to be the Steelers' ability to get pressure on Carson Wentz and make him uncomfortable. Because if Carson Wentz is uncomfortable, that means that there's a lot of things that he can't do. And I think that that's going to be very important for the Steelers team. And after last week, they looked better with the pass rush. Defensive line is starting to play better. I feel like the Steelers are starting to play better. It's not perfect yet. And so I'm very curious to see who travels better. Are the Steelers going to show up and look better traveled? Are the Vikings going to show up and look better traveled? I think the Steelers had a tougher, closer game against the Patriots than obviously the Vikings had against the Bengals. But what does that even mean? I don't really know. And so it's going to just be interesting to see how these matchups play out and to see if Aaron Rodgers is going to be the difference maker in this game. Because if Aaron Rodgers has a good game and he's controlling this game and he's doing the things he needs to do, I think we're in for a good game. And my gosh, it is going to be so early in the morning. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. The X factor to this game should be obvious if you've watched the Steelers play at any moment or heard me rant at all. It's going to be our ability to get our run game going, and it's going to be our ability to stop the Minnesota Vikings run game. I think the run games here are going to tip the scales. So similar to Aaron Rodgers, if our run game gets going, I think that's going to help Aaron Rodgers. If our run game can't get going, what does that mean for Aaron Rodgers? Similar to Carson Wentz, if he doesn't have a good run game and he's not able to depend on that, that is going to turn him into a pocket passer. And I like that if we're able to get pressure. And so there's so many different nuances when it comes to this game, and I don't really know how to call it right now, but I definitely think our ability to stop the run and to have a run game is going to be very important. And I'm curious to see if we are getting better, if we're improving, if we're not getting better. I don't know what's going on because it's week 4, but I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to this. On paper, when you look at this game, I am not going to disagree with you that the Steelers look like they're at a disadvantage. The Minnesota Vikings, on paper, and maybe even your eye test, I don't really know, look like they are a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm okay with that. I don't really care about that because how the Steelers have been winning football games, some would call it ugly, some people would call it luck, although I think that that is absolutely ridiculous. But the way that the Steelers have been winning football games is momentum plays. And what do I mean by momentum plays? Turnovers, huge momentum swing. Sacks, huge momentum swing. Huge impact plays because it impacts the way that you have to play, and you either get behind the chains, which is very important, or you don't have enough possessions. And so if that is how the Steelers are winning games, and I think this game might be a defensive battle, there's a couple of things that might sway this game one way or another. And when I look at how the Steelers are playing, I think that that's a great thing. And I always say my Steelers are never going to look perfect. Okay. I don't think right now we're in a stage where we're going to look perfect. What we need to do is win some of our one-on-one matchups, create turnovers, make this game ugly, and make Carson Wentz uncomfortable. I think that's our path to victory. Making Carson Wentz uncomfortable and doing what we need to do to win the football game and controlling our controllables. That was such a mature thing for me to say. Controlling our controllables. Anyways, let me stop talking about this game here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you're a Steelers fan, if you're a Vikings fan, if you're just a football fan, or whatever kind of fan you are, I want to hear your comments in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you in my next video.